I play video games all the time, but my mom believes it is a complete waste of time. This is a common argument between kids and their parents. One believes it's bad for your mental health, and while the other believes it's good for your mental health. Today's generation prefers to play video games or computer games as a form of entertainment, which can improve the minds of those who play them. Amid all the cool and colorful graphics, the fantastic music, and the intriguing and exciting plots, which can attract those who play them. Video games are a hobby, a pastime for children to play during this pandemic. Most parents believe that video games can torture their developing minds and make them lazier. However, I can say that video games can lead something else to improve skills as they get older. Video games can enhance hand-eye coordination. To get a better understanding of why video games can enhance this skill, we must first need to know what problems parents believe that video games are bad for children. Second, what causes the children to want to play video games. And finally, how do video games enhance hand-eye coordination? What are the bad problems for children playing video games? The company Live Well states signs include changes in behavior and mood, such as social isolation, ignoring previously enjoyed activities, and withdrawal when not playing, all of which might result in anxiety and depression. You might also notice declining performance in school or work or loss of control of spent in gaming. Some other traits that children might have are poor social skills, lower grades, less reading, and poor quality of sleep. Most of bad effects of video games are blamed on the violence they contain. Children who play more violent video games are more likely to have increased aggressive thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and decreased pro-social helping, according to the scientific study by Anderson and Bushman 2001, which leads to what causes the children to play video games. The cause of children playing video games gives an in-depth understanding of why they enjoy playing video games. When kids are asked why they play video games, more than half of them give reasons, such as to relax, to learn new things, and to create their own world. In a study conducted by Cheryl Olson, the top reasons children gave for playing is that games are fun, exciting, and have the challenge to figure things out. Olson also found that 45% of boys and 29% of girls say they play video games to get my anger out. Children in the same study reported that they play violent video games to release stress, to be rebellious, and to test the limits of acceptable behavior in a safe environment. And another source, Jane McGonigal, in her book Reality is Broken, states, games make us happy because they're a hard work that we choose for ourselves. Which moves on to our next category, which is how does video games enhance hand-eye coordination? Knowing that video games are a good way of entertainment, enhancing hand-eye coordination is a good trait for children. A number of recent studies show that video games actually have a positive impact on the vasomotor control. The vasomotor control, also known as hand-eye coordination, is a harmony of eye movement and hand movement. The relationship between the visual input and the hand reaction is essential to almost everything we use our hands for. So that being explained, a recent study from the University of Toronto found that people who regularly play video games, particularly action titles like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, perform better in the sensory motor tasks and improve hand-eye coordination than people who do not play video games. The results suggested that playing video games could eventually become a treatment for people struggling with hand-eye coordination or the sensory motor skills in general. Another interesting study from 2014 found that teenagers who play more show an increase in cortical thickness in the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the left frontal eye field, indicating greater density, more brain cell connections, thus improve brain function in those areas. We know the problems of why parents believe that video games are bad for children. Second, what causes children to play video games. And finally, how video games can improve hand-eye coordination. So with those arguments that you had with your parents about video games are bad for you, you can tell them that video games can actually help your mental health. Because currently, there are millions of kids around the world connecting through each other through video games, which otherwise would not be able because of the pandemic.